Evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second episode of our career mode series so far. If you haven't checked out the first episode of our series where we introduced the team and played our first league game and Carling Cup game, then be sure to do so. I have arranged it in the career playlist on our YouTube channel, so be sure to head over and check that out straight away before you end up watching the rest of this episode. At the time of doing this talk over, it is 9:25 in the evening, and I know that Team of the Year packs have been out for almost an hour and a half now. I've seen some of the other YouTubers and various people on Twitter pulling, Team of the Year Silvers and Team of the Year Lahms and Neuers. If any of you guys have pulled any Team of the Years, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys have any idea on who's going to be the most expensive Team of the Year when they're all released, then drop down and we can have a discussion in the comments down below. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to follow us on Twitter and subscribe to this channel for more Ultimate Team content and career mode content. And as you can see, guys, for this episode we started off with our third game and second league game overall with a home game, our first one of the series against Burton Albion. Now, this was a game that I thought again would be rather tricky. As you know from the first episode, we're playing it on legendary difficulty, and it does prove to be quite a difficult job at times, especially as we're experimenting with a 3-4-3 formation that I've made very, very attacking, with a lot of pressing from the three front men, shall I say, harassing the opposition's back four, and the team using quite a high line and pressing up. Hopefully it works out for us in League 2 across the course of this series, but it's one of them that maybe we'll tinker with and maybe we'll change as the series goes on. As you can see, we managed to put ourselves one goal up after 4 minutes with a great finish from a corner. However, Burton Albion, with their first shot of the game, got themselves back into it, but as you can see from that clip there, we brought out a very quick equaliser from Sean McCartan, and at half time we managed to drag ourselves in and we were 2-1 up. Before we go on with the rest of this episode, I'd just like to apologise to you guys for the lack of live commentary. At the moment I'm using an Elgato HD60 and I'm exporting it to Windows Movie Maker. I'm not really the best with technology, if I'm honest, so if you guys know any other editing software that we could use that helps export Elgato audio as well as the gameplay, then please let me know in the comments down below. It's something I do want to do for you guys. As you know, in the first episode we had live commentary, but since then I haven't been able to get it to work, which is a shame because I enjoy doing it, but the voiceovers are also very effective, I think. And as you can see, we got into the second half, and in the 52nd minute McCartan hit the post, and somehow their defender has kicked it against their goalkeeper and he's managed to clear it over the bar. And from the resulting corner there was a big goalmouth scramble, but Burton managed to clear the ball. And it wasn't until the 67th minute that man McCartan again created another chance, but their goalkeeper managed to save that and keep them in the game. And in the 85th minute we broke from a corner. That man McCartan again, he could have had 4 or 5 goals to be honest in this game, and he's managed to put it wide of the left hand post. And it is something that I am worried about in all honesty. Obviously at the moment we are playing in League 2 and we're not really taking the majority of our chances. As you can see, we had 13 shots with only 7 on target, so that was almost only 1 in 2 ratio of us hitting the target, and that isn't too good, especially if we come into cup games against bigger opposition, teams in the Championship and teams in the Premier League. We're going to have to start to take our chances, but a win is a win at the end of the day. So our first game of this episode was kicked off with a 2-1 win, and as you can see we received a transfer offer for Michael Liddell, who is not a bad overall to be honest for this league, but he does play at left back, and since we're playing 3 at the back and a diamond midfield in the middle, we don't need our left or right backs, so it was a worthy £90,000 that we can use to go straight into our free agents wage budget list. And as you can see, the second episode and the second game of this episode was at Hartlepool away. Now I thought this would be quite a tricky game. Hartlepool did have Marlon Harewood up front, who is a striker with great pedigree for a League 2 level like this. and he did cause us a few problems, to be honest. He probably should have scored there with his header, although it seems my defender did clear it. But as you saw in the first clip, we did hit the post in the first 5 minutes through Vaca. And it was just one of those halves. I mean, here we cleared one off the line. Hartlepool did put us under a lot of pressure, but they were the home team, so I did sort of expect it. But again, like the game before, we had our chances, and we really should have been going in at half-time. In all honesty, 2 or 3 goals up. It just seemed to be one of those halves again. There we are. Hartlepool hit the bar. So although we've had a lot more of the chances, and Hartlepool have really only had 3, out of their 3, they've hit the crossbar and we've cleared 1 off the line. So that isn't good at all. And going in at half-time, we'd had 3 shots with none on target, and Hartlepool had hit the target twice. And it didn't look good for us. And as you can see, they play a quick through ball here, and somehow their striker or their right midfielder, I'm not quite sure who it was, he's managed to wrap his foot around that through ball and beat our keeper at the near post, which is quite disappointing. It was a rather strange finish, to be honest, but a goal is a goal at the end of the day. And it just seemed to be one of them games. It didn't matter if we were hitting the target, the keeper was saving them, or we were hitting the woodwork. And any chances that didn't hit the target were definitely going wide. There's a header from a corner. There was another great chance, a free header 6 yards out. And it just wasn't our day, guys. I wasn't too sure what it was. I mean, maybe my finishing wasn't up to scratch today. But it just seemed to be one of them games where we didn't really, well, we had a lot of the chances and, to be honest, the majority of the possession, but we just couldn't put the ball in the net, and we suffered a 1-0 loss, which was our first loss in the league. And that's how it went for this episode, guys. There's 2 league games there for you guys to enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed this content, and continue to leave your comments down below. Subscribe, like, and follow us on Twitter, and I'll be sure to see you guys tomorrow. Let me know if you want a Road to Glory series or career mode. Thank you very much.